Welcome friends to another episode of stock analysis. Let's look at the day's movement as to how the markets move today. If you're new to this channel, I'll request that you kindly subscribe the channel to receive notifications and updates on the coming videos. Do share our videos so that a lot of people can view them and they can have a better probability during training. So friends, if you had seen my yesterday's video, you would have seen that I had predicted a consolidated move on the Nifty and Bank Nifty today also. And almost similarly, Bank Nifty and Nifty did move today. Although the Bank Nifty did make Nifty actually made a high of 9240, then a low of 9043, and finally it closed at 9196 with a drop of 0.46%. So a lot of movement happening in Nifty as such, and Bank Nifty really gave a lot of move on the second half hour of the day, where it really bounced back from the lower levels, opened at 18751, then made a high of 18993, low of 18278, and then finally closed at 18862.85, another gap of 0.46%. So mostly the indices are moving as per what we have been seeing in the NSE data. And let's have a look at the advance and decline ratio. This was the figure yesterday. Almost 583 stocks were on the bullish trend and 940 on the bearish trend. Today also almost the figures are balanced, 547 and 971, slightly more stocks on the bearish trend compared to yesterday. And then you see a lot of some positive movements in Nifty on certain stocks and then almost overall, if we see that the markets are almost poised as to how they were yesterday, it's almost a balanced kind of move, more stocks on the bearish trend rather than the bullish ones, naturally taking the Nifty and the Bank Nifty go down a bit from the original levels where we were expecting it. In terms of stock movement, yesterday we had Reliance moving up, but today we can see Reliance going down by 6.19%, HDFC, Kotak, Hindustan Liver, Asian Paints almost looking like they are on the bearish side, the trends moving down. With Reliance, we have already discussed that it has touched it high, and that resistance has been for over long time, and definitely we expect that Reliance might go a bit on bullish tomorrow possibly, but the 1600 levels would be still tough for Reliance to go on. So kindly be very cautious on trading with Reliance tomorrow also. And if we move on to the Bank Nifty stocks, this was the figure yesterday and today, where we see almost the bearishness continues in Kotak Bank, Bandhan Bank, HDFC. So these are the mainly banks which have been bringing Bank Nifty on the downward trend. In terms of the sector movement, we see that Nifty Auto held the Nifty yesterday, but today it was mainly decided by the Nifty Media. Although Nifty Media yesterday was a move of 2.7, so the move keeps continuing, but although the strength of the movement has been reduced from yesterday, and Nifty Energy taking away the strength by minus 1.98%. And definitely we had some movement in the Nifty Bank. So let's on move to the data of NSE, which is very accurately working in the market now, and we can see that market exactly honoring the data with the bigger players operating as to how they are having the positions. We see a lot of unwinding by the FIIs today, and a lot of short positions been done. So FIIs are almost done with, looks like almost done with their positions. They are at the zero levels, and while we see some kind of long position being built up by the pro desk, and some unwinding by the DIIs also, and some some bit of unwinding by the FIs. But if we talk about the FIs are almost done with their position. The positions which they build after 7th, they have already squared off, so they'll be looking for fresh position. In terms of the movement here also, if you see that they have been trading daily with almost 2 lakh open interest, and they've been squaring off those volumes. So basically the FIIs are operating on an intraday basis and developing good positions. That is why you see some kind of volatility in the market, but they are squaring off their position at the end of the day, because here you see almost these positions are nil in terms of index futures. In terms of stock futures, they have unwinded some positions, almost around 4 to 4.5 lakh contracts still remaining, and the clients building up some position. The pro desk almost having same position, while the DIIs build some more position on the downward side. So naturally the stock options, stock futures, the FIIs are still bullish, and they are having some positions possibly they might be using on the move when the market bounces back. And in terms of volume also, you see they were almost negligible, very less of movement by the FIS. Mostly the stock futures been operated by the DII. So certainly if you have some movement on the short side in the stocks, definitely you can very much understand that these have been played by the DIIs. FIS have been very silent on this area. In terms of index option, lot of long build-ups being done by the clients, while we see the FIIs, DIIs all on the other side. So naturally you can understand why we see that most of the time, almost 95% of the time, the clients do lose in the market. The reason being is that they are almost taken off guard on the other side of the fence, while you have 3 more players, almost more than 50,000 contracts almost each. So naturally the volume is here, and the market is definitely going down just because of this. These are certain contracts which in the index option has been still taken by the FIIs naturally, and the DIs and the pro desks will certainly make a more impact in the coming days. In terms of index option trading volume, almost you see that FIIs have been negligible. Only all the work been done by the clients. They are building up some position, almost like 4 lakh contracts on a daily basis. So naturally most of the index option on the daily basis been done by the clients. And in terms of stock options, again we see the clients building up position, all those FIIs and the DIIs squaring off their position. Some on the downward side, the pro people are actually building up some more short contracts, expecting the markets to definitely go down. The pro desk has been almost mostly in the shorter side, while the clients have been thinking that the market will certainly be bullish in the coming days. They're building up long positions. Also in terms of the trading volume, you can see the short stance taken by the pro desk is mostly been operated in stock volumes also in the intraday today. So mostly a lot of work been done by the pro desk today in terms of stock options. They are very much into stock options if you talk about the pro desk people. So a lot of proprietary traders working on stock options at this point of time, while the FIIs are basically working on the index futures. In terms of total contracts, almost around 6 lakh, less than 6 lakh contracts been held by the FIIs on a total basis, while we have on the long side, naturally these will give an impact when the market turns back, and while the clients and the FIIs on the other side. In terms of the volume, net on net volume, if we see, so you can see major volume in done by the clients today, almost 60,000 plus contracts on the long side, while you can see the major work done here by the DIIs and the FIIs, and some work by the pro desk. So mostly net on net, if we talk about the days trading, most of the work been done by the DIIs today. So let's go on to the cash movement, and here we see some unwinding by the FIIs. They have pulled in a lot of cash from the market, almost something like 1700 crores today, and they've been selling more. So they are net on net sellers today in terms of cash segment. So operated on the mainly on the stocks, and they have pulled out their money. They have squared off their position and booked in profits. In terms of DIs also, if you see, DI is also net on net sellers, but their volume volume is more, so DII is operating more in the market, both in terms of the stocks as well as the cash segment, the equity segment. So basically what we find that the FIIs are squaring off their position, and possibly they would be looking to build up new position. This is the market trade statistics of FIIs. If we can see, almost 3.25% only of the entire trade market turnover in terms of cash, very less, and compared to future, index option, stock future, almost negative, stock option almost 1%. So you can generally understand by this figure that the FIIs are basically from the level which they had on 7th, huge, almost 20,000 crores on 7th. Now you can see the volume. They have pulled in all the data from the market and they are basically shorting the market, and that is why the market is definitely on a flat basis, because you don't have people operating in the market with huge volumes. FIIs are basically volume creators in the market. So even you can see only 53,000 crores of market turnover been done today. So naturally that is why the market is flat, and we still expect the market to be flat. Okay, here I have done the VIX test in terms of VIX closed at 38.20, and the correlation between VIX and Nifty is still negative. So we can't say that the VIX coming down, the market would definitely bounce. So absolutely no correlation. In terms of Bank Nifty also minus 0.40, again a negative correlation. So naturally we cannot say confidently say that the market would bounce back. In terms of the put call ratio, we've got a lot of calls on the other side. Definitely the people expecting that the market would be bullish. So we can almost say that it's a slightly bullishness in the market, both in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. But again, this is more related to option chain data, and naturally with option chain you've got selected volumes in which the option chain works. So definitely this bullishness is indicating to those levels only. We'll be seeing in the presentation further as to how these levels are calculated. In terms of IV test, we see that almost 27% probability to move towards 9,000 on the put side, and in terms of all a Bank Nifty almost 18,000, almost balanced, but slightly more movement towards the put side. So naturally we can expect Bank Nifty to go up a bit and then come down and settle a bit, and similarly you can expect with Nifty also to go up a bit and then settle down finally. So because the FIIs would be trying to move the market on, because they are operating on cash basis, they are operating on the intraday basis. So in terms of open interest chain, yesterday we had a lot of movement at 9,500. Today also you can see 9,500 is a bigger figure which has still been making up a lot of moves in the market in terms of open interest positions, and 9,000 again. So naturally the market is defending between 9,500 to 9,000 on a larger scale basis, and net on net change, if you see a lot of unwinding happening at 9,000 compared to a lot of put data here. Naturally the market is expecting that it will definitely go down, and here also you see almost at 9,200 lot of new call writing been done by the sellers in the market. Definitely they are putting up resistance at 9,200. Now 9,200 becoming an important level. So certainly looks like that market would be around between hovering around 9,000 to 9,200 tomorrow, possibly, because it's moved from 9,000 to 9,500 yesterday. Now the market on a net on net change basis, it looks like that 9,000 to 9,200 would be an important level. Although on a broader side, if we take a look at the option chain, we find that on a larger scale it is between 9 to 9,500. We'll look at the option chain and then understand those figures. In terms of Bank Nifty also, you can see those lot of put writing which was done at 18,500 have been unwinded, and a lot of call writing has been done at 19,200. So definitely market slightly sliding below these 18,500 levels. And here if you see on the net on net change, so you can see the lot of unwinding which has been done at 18,500, but some building up happening at 19,000 levels. So naturally again for Bank Nifty, it looks like 18,500 to 19,000 would be certain levels, although these levels are almost constricting day by day. Here I have put in the build up position, so you can see mostly the build up position at all levels are almost long liquidation and short build up, definitely telling that the market would go down. So lot of negative sentiments existing in the market, even if you can see on the put side also and on the call side also the sentiments are down. So naturally we can expect that the market should be mostly bearish tomorrow, but again the market is between levels. We'll be seeing the option chain, so this part of the option chain data only, but I have taken only selected levels, and basically I wanted to show you the build up position. So naturally you have short build up positions. So if you're working on options and futures, naturally if you are working on option strategy, definitely you can utilize these build up positions, and in terms of the premium and open interest positions, you can take a call in your trade. And then in terms of Nifty, you can see again we see some long build up around 9,400 to 9,600, but mostly we have short build up around 9,300, 9,200. So definitely some kind of positions been taken. Mostly these positions look like been hedged in position, and definitely on the lower side you can see short build ups been done, definitely indicating the market to be on the downside. So a lot of movement happening on the put side, which will check with the option chain data. So here also the market gives an indication that possibly it will be bearish, but definitely people would be defending around 8,000 levels. So because a lot of open interest change you have seen here at 221, almost 2,21,000 at 8,000 levels. Again before I go on to these levels, let me show you the option chain data, and then we can come down to these levels. So here I have got these option chain for Nifty, and let's deep dive into this and see what are the levels on a broader basis. Almost we saw something like 9,000 to 9,500. So here you can see lot of if you can see here at 65,000 contracts been taken off at 9650, and 260 contracts been taken at 9,800. So a lot of unwinding is happening at higher levels, definitely giving a very strong indication that the market is slightly moving downwards, and almost 58,000 also moving around 9,300, but lot of fresh movement happening at 9,200 levels. Excuse me. So open interest almost 11 lakhs at 9,200 levels. So 9,200 levels is becoming more of a psychological barrier resistance rather to Nifty. If we talk about almost 10 lakh contracts at 9,300 levels almost, so these are the levels to be looked upon, and naturally Nifty is slipping down a bit. 9,500 was an important level, almost 70,000 contracts and 20 lakhs almost on the higher side, which is the existing number of contracts, but new contracts which are coming at these levels are very less, and you see a lot of new contracts which has been done by the sellers, because a lot of short buildup is here. Here you can see long buildup happening at after 9,300 levels. Maybe a lot of hedging been done by players. It's very difficult to find out, because mostly the FIIs are operating, and in terms of stock option we don't find a lot of movement by the FIIs. So they are basically operating on day-to-day basis. So definitely the levels changing when the market opens. So this end of market report, it would be very difficult to say, but mostly DIIs are operating in on a major basis, which we saw from the data. So definitely looks like these kind of levels been done by the DIIs. Possibly 9,200 looks like a major level for us now. And if we look at the put side, we see almost 217,000 contracts been done, and overall 17 at 9,000 levels. Naturally again at 9,100 levels, 394, 974 contracts. So naturally 9,000 level is a level which has been now protected by the put writers. On below, lot of short buildup again here you can see happening, and even 8,800 here. been protected, and lot of new open interest coming at these levels. So naturally these levels are getting, people are going down, they are shifting levels from the top side, they are going down, they are unwinding contracts. See, almost 1 lakh contracts been unwinded at 9,400, and these have been shifted below, definitely signaling that the market would be bearish in the coming days. People are building in their levels slow and steadily, and ultimately when these levels are reached, they can make hefty profit by the premium decay and the movements there. So let's have a look at the bank nifty chart. And bank nifty also, you can see lot of movement happening, almost 1,41,000 contracts and 3 lakh contracts at 19,000 levels and 335 at 19,500 levels. But the build up mostly change in contracts, open interest is at 19,000 levels, slow, and lot of unwinding happening at 20,000 levels, you can see. So naturally almost still 5,37,000 contracts remaining, but this has dropped a bit, a bit, and naturally it's signaling that the market's going to go down. And on the put side, if you look at 2,36 contracts, although 91 contracts been unwinded and definitely getting pushed up more below. So naturally, if you can see here, short buildup happening, you can see short buildup happening, definitely giving a signal that the market should be bearish, although there are some long buildups, but definitely not much of an influence to happen on this side, because again I'm saying that these data reflect to the DIIs, because FIIs are mostly silent on the stock options, and they are basically operating on FII is operating on the intraday basis. So these lot of levels would be changed when you have the actual market on the live market. When you see the option chain data, you will find a lot of levels been changing. That is why we saw a lot of movements on the downward side being built up in the day's time. Naturally looks like 18,000 levels to be an important level in the coming days, a couple of days till expiry. And here we've got the chart, and let's see as to what the chart says. Here I have put in the levels, and once you see the levels with in terms of Fibonacci, we can see that the closing is near almost 38.2, and a green candle there almost giving up a signal that the index might move a bit to these levels, almost coming up around these 9,300 levels definitely, and which is almost 23% on the Fibonacci Fibonacci analysis. So definitely these are the levels to watch, I think, where the indices hovering between 23.6 and 38.2 in the Fibonacci, and almost we've predicted that the market is on a consolidated basis and the market is on the sideways move, having a similar levels naturally, unless the bigger players, the FIIs, build on new levels on which they want to operate in the coming days. In terms of bank chart, also we find the same movement, although Nifty bank is almost operating at 50% of the Fibonacci level, just touch 50% and then touch the 61.8 on the downward side, but still looks like some kind of bullishness. But overall, if we talk about, these are the levels in which it would be operating. We have already discussed on the levels. You can go back on the chart and decide as to what levels will be there. So again, if we talk about on the summary basis in terms of the pivot levels where we can expect the market to be tomorrow on more precise basis, so these are the levels. If you talk about Nifty, 9,148 and 9,026 to be the levels. Again, I'm saying that the market is getting constricted. The band is reducing, and especially the market is coming in a wedge form. Excuse me, from where the market might come down after a lot of bearish sentiments in the market. Again, in terms of bank Nifty also, we can see those data. So friends, we talk about on an overall basis, again I expect around 2 to 2% on a broader move in Nifty and bank Nifty. Excuse me. So you need to watch out at these levels as to where the market would be trading, and naturally we don't expect a lot of movement, although 20 lakh crores is been promised by the finance minister to fund the market in terms of various support services during this coronavirus lockdown, which he announced at 8 p.m. today. So definitely this will give in some positive sentiments in the market, because the market definitely accepts positive vibes and positive news. But overall, you see the market has already been decided by the levels which they have, and since we don't have FIIs on a major level, these 20 lakh of fund might make them move market a bit tomorrow. So with this 20 lakhs coming in, the news coming in, I personally feel that the market would be a bit volatile tomorrow. It might go in for gap up for some almost some 2 to 300 points on a gap up, and but ultimately if you see that the market would settle as per the levels which have been made in the market and the FIIs how they trade in the live market. So will certainly word of caution to you, do check out with your financial advisors before you start working on these levels. It's better you stay out of the market, because the market is expected to be a bit volatile tomorrow with these 20 lakhs coming in, the news coming in. But all those, we see that levels have been already decided by the smart players. So I'll wind up the video here. If you're liking my video, if you're liking my effort, definitely subscribe to the channel, share the videos, and do look out for the other videos, because until unless you start looking into all the videos, you'll not be able to understand as to how this data is being analyzed. But once you have more of an idea of this data, definitely it would be a cakewalk for you to predict Nifty and Bank Nifty in the coming days. So take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Namaskar.